entering into the next portion of the program, where we will be listening to we'll be understanding some of the various revelations made by Devi Parashakti for humanity at this time. As all of us know, Devi has been continuously guiding us and blessing us. So let us look at some of the revelations made by Devi and how we can heed to the guidances given by Devi, and we can. Yeah, let us enter into this next segment and understand what Devi Parashakti has revealed about this pralaya, about this pandemic. So, as we all know, humanity is still undergoing the effects of the cosmic deluge, this pralaya. Thousands of deaths due to the global pandemic and emerging fungal epidemic, along with record numbers of natural disasters, have taken a huge toll on humanity's collective psyche, leading to increase in poverty, malnutrition, depression, and so what is called in this segment, let us go through a scientific and statistical understanding of Devi Parashakti's revelations on the cause and solution of this pralaya, this cosmic deluge. So all of us know the current status of the world right now. And since this has been made, the number of deaths has increased to well over 4.4 million people. Confirmed cases of COVID-19 has crossed well over 220 million. And the worst affected countries are still the US, India, and Brazil. And in India alone, the number of cases has over 400,000 people. And the number of people fallen into poverty in 2020 is 75 million people. And India is considered to be the sixth most depressed country in the world. And 6.5 is suffering from some form of mental illness, actually 15 to 24 mental health issues or the pandemic cyclones in shortly. So how could we have prevented this? How could we have avoided this? Let us listen to what Devi Parashakti has revealed as the cause for this pralaya. sorry for the technical glitch. So let us look at the translation of Devi Parashakti's revelation. Yes. Devi revealed for this huge, they chased them. See what is going to happen now. And in 2017, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had revealed the vision for this Padayatra and of Buddhism spreading again. 1,000 power manifestors would walk from Kanyakumari to Kashmir and Supreme Pontiff of the home and give them solutions for every problem, whether physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was ready to get on ground and meet people where they are. And since the age of 10, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been enriching people and preparing them for this Padayatra to save them from this Pralaya. And from that age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been enriching and initiating the masses into the science of enlightenment through his powerful discourses, initiations, and darshans. And here you can see in the next several photos, we'll be seeing various programs that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been conducting over 2 decades, enriching people and blessing people. And here you can see how many thousands of people in each program were being blessed directly by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, were being initiated into the science of enlightenment. You can see the people from various different backgrounds. You can see the birth star celebrations in Tirunelveli, and how many different people from various walks of life who were there enriched and blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. You can see the Jayanti celebrations in a school and the NSB programs, various discourses, various for this Pralaya, to protect them from this Pralaya, to prepare them for this Padayatra. And even the Saptayagam program, which was a of homas conducted by not only the Supreme Pontiff, doing the homa himself, as well as to the same homas. It was a huge offering to humanity, bringing so much. Each of these photos, how many were being blessed to be of the avatar, to be initiated into the science of the world, to prepare people for this Pralaya, and to ultimately bring them to the new age, the Satyuga. And in order to do this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was preparing to do the re-energizing process of the 12 Jyotirlingas along with the Padayatra. However, the anti-Hindu elements made it nearly impossible for Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to do the re-energizing process by driving the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism out of India. And Devi Parashakti has revealed the solution for this Padayatra, for this cosmic deluge, for this Pralaya to end. Devi revealed that only when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is received once again in India with respect and reverence as the head of the Kailasana and the re-energizing process of the 12 Jyotirlingas, will we see an end to this Pralaya in India. And as we look around and we see so much of suffering and pain, we can understand what the great rishis of the Vedic civilization had forewarned this Kali Yuga. And Sage Vyasa echoes the Rishi's declaration in the Kurma Purana and the 4 yugas. People are so sinful, they forget the dharma, the 4 varnas and the 4 ashramas. In fact, men are so sinful that no prescribed for their great sins. The only place, and the Kurma Purana also states that Lord Rudra, Paramashiva himself, is the avatar for the Kali Yuga. And it states Sri Rama. In the Dvapara Yuga, the 3rd cycle of time, the presiding divinity is Vishnu. And in the Kali Yuga, the 4th cycle of time, the current age, the presiding divinity is the avatar is Rudra, Lord Maheshwara, Mahasadashiva himself. And out of his deepest compassion to protect humanity, On the 2nd of January 1978, Paramashiva himself descended into the human form in the Nijavatar of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains that if Paramashiva himself had waited one more year, 1979 would have been too late. And on the planet Earth was to protect humanity. And Devi Parashakti herself has revealed about this. Let us look at the translation of it. People of the world, oh listen, Kali Yuga has matured and over time has come for Satyuga to happen. Great Pralaya has come. Don't worry, people, in the form of Nithyananda, I myself have come for this. The avatar began the Padayatra at the mere age of 10. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began in at a time with the truth from the sacred scriptures and the secrets of higher living. Where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism led them from Gudiyatam, Tamil Nadu to Tiruvannamalai, his birthplace, and a huge spiritual pilgrimage site. And when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was around 9, all his fellow monks gave them an unforgettable pilgrimage trip experience. And the Supreme Pontiff until all over the world. And with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's intensity and dedication for the people among crowds of thousands who don't understand English, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's voice resonated deeply and his presence moved each one to tears. And in 2000, the Avatar led his disciples on the first Himalayan Yatra, visiting temples, delivering satsangs and initiating, and guided individual souls not just to physical spiritual sites, but to supernal spiritual realms. And in 2006, the Padayatras were taken to the next level with the Kodikan Radayatra, with crores participating and impacted by Nithyanandeshwara and Nithyanandeshwari deities traveling from city to city. And the Padayatra was not only conducted in 2006, but the Kodikan Radayatra culminated with the consecration and inauguration of the Garbha Mandir, the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti, and the Swayambhu Linga at the Adi Kailasha Satyajit in Bangalore, South India. Here you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism offering Abhishekam to the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Swayambhu Linga. And these deities were energized as Achavataras to radiate the energy of Paramashiva and Parashakti to the Sarvajñavita as a ship to save humanity from this upcoming pralaya. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism did innumerable spiritual energy centers during this great deluge in Bangalore and the Kailasa in Hyderabad. Each of these spiritual ecosystems have provided support and protection during this time when so many people are suffering and are struggling with their mental health issues and who are struggling with protecting their families. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has created these ecosystems worldwide in order to protect people. And in 2008, the Avatar created and energized the Nithyananda Vaidya River, the Ananda Lingam, which would protect anyone who bathes in its waters from the deadly COVID-19 disease. You can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism performing the Ananda Lingam. Another Kodikan Radayatra and garnered international attention and created a movement where lakhs of Hindus once again embraced Hinduism. And wherever the Avatar have graced the planet Earth, there the seeds of superconsciousness have been 1 billion people have been enriched and enriched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And in the port for people, the ecosystems in India, the Kailas and Erode, the Adi Nithyananda here you can see, have provided multi-layer quarantine for all residents who want to come and reside there and protect themselves in India. And the other Sadvajnapitas across the globe and the other enlightenment ecosystems across the globe have provided spiritual and emotional support. The Adi Kailasa Sadvajnapita in Bangalore has provided the multi-layer quarantine for anyone who wants to protect themselves during this time. And so has providing the Kailas in Los Angeles have been providing support in the form of various programs, online programs, yoga sessions, online chanting sessions of Kailas in Los Angeles, the Kailas in San Jose, serving the enlightenment across the globe in order to protect people, the Kailas in Seattle, in order to protect people during this pralaya, to ensure that they are not affected by this emotionally or physically. You can see the Kailasa in Houston, Texas, and other. So each of these ecosystems, the Kailasa in Charlotte, North Carolina, have been beautiful to them. This ambiance in order to explore conscious breakthrough the Kailasa in Washington, D.C., by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Kailasa in Phoenix, Arizona, where you can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself consecrating these deities. The Kailasa in St. Louis, Missouri, and each of these ecosystems have a special significance. The Kailasa in St. Louis, Missouri is the energy of Tirumala Tirupati of South India and the West, and it is a beautiful ecosystem for all to experience. The Kailasa in Oman, which is known as the Oman, and it fulfills the needs of Hindus across through these energized. The Kailasa in London, UK, the Kailasa in Scotland, UK, the Kailasa in Netherlands, the various Kailasas in Europe. We reach out to all the citizens of Europe to bring the Kailasa in Luxembourg. The data in each Kailasa enlightenment ecosystem radiates the Kailasa in Germany, the Kailasa in Italy, the Kailasa in France, the Kailasa in Switzerland, the Kailasa in Mauritius, and the Kailasa in South Africa. You can see how many people have been enjoying the various enlightenment ecosystems. The Kailasa in Salem, which was established personally by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2006. It's one of the energy centers in Tamil Nadu. The Kailasa in Hosur, which was the Adinam, was founded by his secretary, donated this land to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2008. And the Kailasa in Patnam, the Kailasa in Varanasi, the Kailasa in Rajapalayam, which is a Shakti peak, and this radiates the divine feminine kanji, and it is considered a Hindu heritage site. The significance of the land has for Hindus lies in little known in the fact that Devi Meenakshi stayed in this area after her coronation. One of her golden rings slipped from her hand, and while she was resting here during her search for Paramashiva. Here is this one of the most important energy centers in Tamil Nadu in South India. You can see enriched by the Kailasa in Kerala, the Kailasa in Gujarat, which is the Yogini Sarvanyapita, built exclusive across the globe about the sacred feminine tradition. The Kailasa in Tiruvannur in Tamil Nadu, the Kailasa in Alankulam, also in Tamil Nadu, the Kailasa in Chennai, Tamavadi, one of the first Kailasas established in the South Pacific, the Kailasa in New Zealand, another beautiful ecosystem in the South Pacific, the Kailasa in Singapore, which was established personally by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2006, the Kailasa in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, established in 2008, the Kailasa in Guadeloupe, South America, enriching the global South American population, and to ensure humanity survives during this pralaya. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has created a sovereign order of Kailasa with thousands of sannyasis with no discrimination against caste, creed, or religion. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has initiated thousands into Nithyananda spiritual healing who are actively healing millions all over the world. And the Supreme Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established over 2,500 satsang centers, Padaka mandirs, and home temples, which operate as de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. And the avatar has inspired millions to reclaim their Hindu-centric freedom through thousands of padayatras, which were conducted by the Hindu diaspora worldwide, honoring the hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the revival of Kailasa, silently preparing each one for what was to come. Devotees in Malaysia planned a padayatra and executed it successfully, with thousands who participated and the dying Hindu population in Malaysia being reinvigorated. And in every major festival, devotees from all over the world have performed the padayatra out of their sincere devotion and love for the avatar. And the Supreme Pontiff over 27 years of humanitarian services and has enriched and enriched over 1 billion lives across the globe in 347 in 196 countries across 6 continents. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has served over 1 billion free organic nutritious meals and continues to serve across the globe. And the world's largest Hindu university, Kailasa Nithyananda University, has been established in US, Canada, UK, Slovakia, Switzerland, and France. And Kailasa is the world's greatest digital Hindu nation with over 1 billion views. And you can connect with us on various social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, and hinduuniversity.org, Kailasa TV, and Nithyananda TV. And you can always download the Enlighten app, which to keep yourself in the high space and always be enriched by the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And there are over 1 billion e-citizens in over 100 countries, with the most successful community in the world. And you can see in this photo how many different locations the e-citizens of Kailasa reside. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has various global initiatives in various health, education, and the development of human potential. And by sharing the practical applications of Hinduism and its science of enlightenment, through which we have made various breakthroughs, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has enriched millions of people across the globe. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has provided foreign aid through Hindu diplomacy with the Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiative. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has contributed in various fields, including global peace, education and children, equality, and food and environment. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has offered free education in 150 plus countries, is the world's largest in the universe with over 7,000 courses. And of course, Kailasa, with the vision of No Hungry Home, has initiated multiple services, including Annadan, organic agriculture, and has offered 1 billion free meals and continues to do so today. Even during this pandemic, even during this Pralaya, Kailasa has not stopped its services, but only has increased it in order to reach more and more people during this time of need. And Kailasa has offered free food in 196 countries across the globe. And Kailasa has also availed free medical services for millions of people. And this includes free medical camps with high quality medicine and various kriyas in order to heal people of various diseases and disorders, the End Pregnancy Program, which was in children, and the spiritual healing services, which have been offered across 1,008 Kailasas across the globe. And Eva has made this available. And even services in multi-layered quarantine as well, in order to protect people, in order to all needs are the scriptural references which have maps for yogic techniques. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has contributed so much in the field of yoga, and this includes 1,000 scriptural references for asanas, dharana, kriya, pranayama, and more, and has 2 Guinness World Records for rope yoga and pole yoga, the Shivastamba yoga, and has 6,000 plus and Kailasa has Sacred Arts University has produced over 4,000 Hindu deities, which are now consecrated and worshipped in 600 plus locations across the globe. This includes over 3,270 deities made of stone, 400 made of 5 metals, the 100 made of marble, 15 traditional. Also established the world's largest Hindu university library with 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and Kailasa has developed the largest Hindu digital library with 1 million digitizers and the world's largest collection of the Kashmiri Shaivism scriptures. And all of this, and with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's hard work over the last 27 years, inspiring millions of people to traverse across, again, on foot from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and to re-energize the energizing process of the 12 Jyotirlingas. The avatar began visiting temples in earnest to start the intense spiritual process. However, while the avatar was working hard to protect India from the Great Destruction, the anti-Hindu militant forces tried their best to halt the avatar's mission in one through various attacks and lawfare, physical attacks, pouring energy into the making of the only ship that would save humanity, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, for 2 decades, instigating the deadliest brutal attack against a single Hindu leader. Since 2009, this heated attack against him and his disciples, the anti-Hindu nexus, the truth never had a chance to come out. The attack, the character assassination, the lawfare against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is still unknown to the majority of the population in India, despite so much of brutal attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And over 14,000 hours of hate, hatred, and character assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And fabric cases were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And in 2018, the avatar was forced to leave India after a nearly fatal assassination attempt. In his absence, India and Indians are suffering the repercussions of their unconscious actions. In the Puranic age, the whole kingdom of Ayodhya, the economic meltdown. And in the same way, the economy began to fall in India 2 months after the avatar left. And today, Indians are still facing the most brutal effects of the pandemic with no end in sight, unfortunately. And despite being driven out of the country, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continues to be the last hope for humanity, and in providing support in the form of multi-layer quarantine, spiritual support, huge blessing for humanity at this time, which has been conducted non-stop since the beginning of this pandemic, since March 2020. Free for anyone to be enriched and blessed during this Pralaya. And with back-to-back programs, darshans, and satsangs, the avatar has made humanity physically, mentally, emotionally, and sail through this Pralaya. And when the whole world has closed its doors to India, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism opened Kailasa's campuses across India for Indians in desperate need of protection with multi-layer quarantine, and has provided not just the accommodations freely, but free food, free internet services, free classes. So people are continuously staying active and not falling into depression during this time. And free medical services, free immune boosting supplements, and various other free tips in order to protect people, in order to ensure they are staying Hinduism has made available in the Kailas enlightenment ecosystems, which have become the Kailasa COVID care centers now. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also increased the organic free agriculture in order to, in the Guru Gita, it states that the Guru is the one who will protect you from anything. In verse 43, it states, salutations to Guru, whose two lotus feet remove the pain of duality and who always protects one from calamities. And in protection against great evils, great fears, great calamities, and great sin. And it also states that there comes death in forsaking a mantra, poverty in forsaking the Guru, and Raurava hell in forsaking both the Guru and the mantra. And it is only the Supreme Concept of Wisdom, the Avatar, the Guru who can only protect us during this time, during this pralaya, as have been stated in our scriptures. We must realize that the pralaya will only end in India when the divine feet of this avatar walk on its soil once again. The decision makers must realize this. The media should realize this. Every citizen should realize this. It is in our hands to save ourselves from this pralaya. It is only the Guru's feet. It is only the Supreme Concept of Wisdom who can protect. The Supreme Concept of Wisdom has been continuously working, as we've seen, to protect humanity, to ensure they are staying safe and protected, to guide them and to continuously bless them through various darshans and programs, continuously offering the Devi Parashakti Akashic readings. And if you are just overflowing in gratitude for the happening of the avatar in your life, you can stay tuned to the divine lotus feet of Swamiji and open yourself up to receive the grace and blessing of Swamiji, of the avatar himself, manifesting Devi Parashakti. So stay tuned for this next segment. We will be right back after a very short break.
Nithyananda, and welcome back to this segment where we'll be learning more about the various traditional offerings we can make to Devi Parashakti, ready to receive her darshan. Of the gratitude to the divine is a pure gift of love and devotion of the sacred sentiments of the devotee for the divine, and the offerings are not made out of fear or greed, but it is just a pure expression, love, devotion, and gratitude. So, as we get ready to receive the darshan of Devi Parashakti, welcome Devi Parashakti in our inner space. Let us contemplate on this Dhyana Shloka. Let us remember the form and splendor of Devi Parashakti with this Dhyana Shloka, which is from Manonmani Dhyana. This verse says, Induniभवेद करवन्निनयनं स्यात् पङ्कजवराभयजपाक्षरसरयुक्तम् अङ्गहिमभूषणविचित्रवसनं स्यात् तुङ्गमकुट. The translation for this verse: moon-like face holding Veda books on hand, fire in eyes, with lotus flower gracing in blessing hands, and one hand with Japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments and wonderful clothes and shining crown. Her name is Manonmani. And another Dhyana Shloka on Devi Parashakti describes Yet Devim Trinetram Shashinibhavadhanam Vedahastam Dadanam Savye Padmam Varadamapare Cha Bhayam Cha Kshama Divyai. The translation for this verse: I meditate on Devi with three eyes, glowing like a moon and holding the Veda, lotus and gracing with blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful. And in the Hindu tradition, the various traditional offerings to the divine and the offerings of element of gold, and the significance of this divine element of gold is described in scriptures. Let us look at this verse from the Atharva Veda, which describes the significance of Tredajutam Janmanedam Hiranagnirekam Priyatamam Babhuva Somasyaikhyam Insitasya Parapatin. Triply born by birth is this gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni. One fell away from the Soma when it was hurt. One day long life. Gold is anything it touches. It is an element of great spiritual significance and spiritual power, of healing and enlightening. The vibration of gold has the power to infuse sattva energy. Gold is present in Vedas, Shrutis, Smritis, Itihasas, and the scriptures. It is abundantly displayed that gold is the most auspicious and purest metal which purifies our being. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold. Ritual feasts were offered in gold bricks. When one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold. The streets would have huge columns and huge gold. The horses and cows were dressed in gold. The civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. The Indus River was called offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. Temples are gold. Deities are made in gold and decked and the traditional offerings that we can make as we get ready to receive her darshan. Yeah, one was fond of true devotion. Let's see this verse describing Devi Parashakti for true devotion. It says, Bhakti Priya, Bhakti Kamya, Bhakti Vashya, Bhayapaha, Shambhavi Sharvani. She can be won over through true devotion. She removes all fear. If there's any fear in the minds of the devotees, when thoughts turn more and more inwards, the role of the divine is known and understood clearly, and the need for Devi worship then becomes stronger. Shambhavi is the consort of Shambhu, Lord Shiva. Sharadaradhya means the one who is worshipped by Devi Sharada, Devi Saraswati. Sharvani is the wife of Lord Shiva. Linga Purana says Lord Shiva is gratitude to Devi Parashakti by offering your Kanika year to the Hindu tradition, where it is customary to offer some token of gratitude when we receive the wine. It is said that we never go empty handed to receive the darshan of the divine or Guru, and we always through the e-hundi on the website www.kailasamela.com/seva/sevas. And the next offering on the website is the offering of the conscious resolution to Devi Parashakti. And this verse from Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34, describes that the goddess enchants this universe and she herself gives birth to this universe. That goddess being prayed without interest in anything, which that leads to salvation and gives wealth in the materialistic sense. And offering the conscious resolution blesses the devotee with the offering of the conscious resolution on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Sahasrita, she who likes the repetition of her various names. And in this offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakas, pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. This is a very special and unique, any of 3 different denominations, and you can offer any number of coins as you would wish to offer. This offering blesses the devotee with imbibing the divine qualities of Devi Parashakti, sacred names of Devi Parashakti. Make this offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakasu, the pure gold coin inscribed of Devi Parashakti herself. This offering can be made on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. The next offering to the Anguti, the gold finger ring embedded, which describes the beauty and splendor of Devi Parashakti, adorned in pearls. It says, Muktahara lasat kirita ruchiram purnendu vaktra prabham Shinjannu purakinkini manidharam padma prabhabhasuram Sarvabhita palapradam girisutam vani rama sevitam Meenakshim pranatosmi santatamaham karunyavaram nidhim. That I bow to the goddess Meenakshi and her small bells, who is shining like the splendor of lotus, who grants all the wishes, the daughter worshipped by goddesses Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to the goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. And you can offer the gold finger ring with embedded pearl, the Mukta Anguti, to Devi Parashakti, and receive the blessings to be showered by her compassion and pure love in all your business endeavors. And you can make this offering on the website kailasamailer.com/sevas, and the offering of the Mukta Anguti can be made in 3 different sizes. Register for all of the traditional offering of the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower. The significance of the gold lotus is described in various scriptures, and this verse from Kamika Agama also describes the significance of the gold lotus in the worship. It says, Ashtavidyeshwaropeta kumbhavarana samyutam sarve sasutra vastradhya hema pankajabhushitaha sapidhana satchakurat pakwa bilva palaprabha snapanadhyaya samsiddha pramanena samanvitaha. The translation of this verse, it says, all the kalasha are to be thread and covered with new cloth. They should be adorned with scriptural references in the Hindu tradition for using the lotus in the worship of Paramashivoham. Everything in the worship of the ultimate involving the lotus leaf, the lotus pericarp, the lotus petals. The lotus is a divine flower in the Hindu tradition. The Shakti of Paramashiva is also called a lotus. The base of the Paramashiva linga is the lotus. The disciple of Paramashiva is also considered a lotus bloom. We can make the offering of the gold lotus in any of three different sizes and be blessed to. So you can the gold lotus on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. Adorn the Devi Parashakti. And this from Saundarya Lahari describes the beauty of the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. It says, Nakadhiditi Sanchanna Namarjanatamo Guna Padadvaya Prabhajala Parakrita Saroruha. The translation for this verse: You whose brightness from the toenails destroy the darkness of it overpowers that of the lotus. And you can make the offering gratitude for receiving her blessings in even the most difficult aspects of life. So you can make this offering. Parashakti is offering Sudha Sharabi Varshini. Parashakti is the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. Devi is described as Sudasha Rabi Varshini, she who makes the nectar flow in all our nerves from the Sahasrara, she who gives the very pleasant experience of the ultimate. And the Swarna Mangtika represents the nectar flowing from the tear. And we make this offering of the Swarna Mangtika to Devi Parashakti and receive the blessings of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude in the space of complete/sevas. And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja. And this verse from Sound of Devi Parashakti have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of celestial beings. From tamas is indicative of the ignorance in the minds of the devotees, and by constantly prostrating before Devi, their ignorance is removed and they attain the ultimate knowledge. Of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, which is one of the most sacred ritualistic offerings of gratitude from disciple to Guru, and offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja blesses the Yajaman with all the auspiciousness and blessings of Devi Parashakti herself and the Nijavatara of Devi Parashakti, the Supreme Pontiff of Buddhism, Jagadguru Mahazanidanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. You can register for this offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Vastra Seva, the sacred cloth. And this traditional offering blesses the devotee with the continued protection and blessings and grace of the divine during all aspects of life, during all times in life. You can make this offering of the Vastra Seva, the offering of the sacred cloth, and be blessed with all the auspiciousness and blessings of Devi Parashakti and of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. So This offering of the sacred cloth can be made on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. Here you can see the various offerings that can be made to Parashakti, the traditional offerings that can be made to Devi Parashakti as we get ready to receive her blessings and darshan today. The e-hundi offerings can be made in multiple currencies and any amount as you wish to offer. The Sankalpa chanting, the krasa, which is the pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. You can make this offering embedded with pearl. This offering can be made in 3 different sizes as well. The Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, can also be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti, the gold touring to adorn the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. You can make this offering on the website. On the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. And the traditional offerings of seva, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja and the Vastra Seva, the offering of the same, register for both of these sevas also on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. And let us now take a look at the website where you can make all of these traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti as we get ready to receive her darshan and blessings today. /sevas. As we scroll down, you can make the various offerings for each of the Baba Samadhi darshans or any special occasion and special event where you would like to register and offer your gratitude and devotion to the divine. You can make the offerings on this website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. And if you would like to make each hundi offering in different currencies of your choice and any amount of your choice, on the link here on step 2 to make your offers. If you'd like to make an intention to make an offer and you'd like to receive Devi's blessing, fill the form on step 1 and make your intention. And if you've made the traditional offerings and you'd like to offer the conscious resolution for yourself and your family members, you can also fill the form on step 3. And the e-hundi offerings can be made in multiple currencies: the Indian rupees, the Singaporean dollars, the Malaysian ringgit, the Great Britain pound, and the Chinese yen. And you can make these offerings in any amount of your choice. And the traditional offerings of ornaments and the ritualistic offerings can also be on the website. You can make the offering of the Parashakti. This offering can be made in 3 different sizes. Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl, can be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, can be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti, the gold touring to adorn the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. The Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. The Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, and all of the traditional offerings that kailasamela.com/sevas, and you can click on the links on step 2 and make her darshan and blessings today. Getting ready for the next segments of this program, we'll be learning more about care and well-being guided by the Supreme Pontificate by Devi Parashakti. So let us look at the various things being made available for the well-being of humanity during this time of pandemic, the various contributions of Kailasa, the de facto embassies of Kailasa for society, for the human society and for the care and well-being of human society. So let us now get ready for these next.
Talk. Nithyanandam, welcome back to this segment of Kailasa's multi-layered at the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies, which are available now in India of Hinduism, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. What we learn from this segment today across the world due to COVID-19, what for global peace, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, spiritual solutions for COVID-19, Kailasa's COVID care protections and contributions. Join Kailasa's COVID care protection centers. The crisis that we are under. Today, people around the world are trying to grapple with the grim reality that the pandemic is far from over. The aftermath of the current calamity promises to be much more devastating. The greatest economics of the world are facing disastrous futures. Countries are facing off each other in deep mistrust. Now let us see some of the statistics and current news. In Australia, 2,400 new locally acquired infections reported nationwide on a Thursday morning, the figure surpassing 2,000 in a single day in just second time. The World Health Organization has elbowed out all the three other COVID-19 variants represent a tiny fraction of the sample, predominantly Delta around the world, said the World Health Organization's technical lead on COVID-19, Maria Van Kerkhove. COVID-19 has now killed more Americans than the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 19 did. The coronavirus killed the influenza pandemic in 1980 about 25% of Americans and killed an estimated 0.65% with 675,000 deaths. COVID-19 has infected more than 12% of Americans and killed about 0.2% with 676,000 deaths. Now that the US death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 676,000, the coronavirus pandemic has killed more Americans than the 1918 to 19 influenza pandemic. US the deadliest, officially US pandemic as the death. People infected with alpha variant exhales 100 times more virus into the air. The need for better ventilation and addition to widespread vaccination to help stop spread of the virus. Six-feet distance may not be enough to prevent viral transmission indoors. According to a study in Washington, physical distancing of 2 meters, 6.5 feet, the results published in the journal Sustainable Cities and Society suggest that the physical distance alone is not enough to prevent human exposure to exhaled aerosols and should be implemented with other controls and adequate ventilation. The indoor airflow pattern associated with different ventilation strategies and the aerosol emission mode COVID-19 variant still the most concerning, says the expert. In United States, the COVID-19 pandemic is nowhere under control, says the chief medical advisor Anthony Fauci. Right now, we are still in pandemic mode because we have 160,000. That's not even modestly in good control. In infections adding up in the past few weeks. The increase in COVID cases comes as the administration earlier this month announced that it is planning to provide booster shots of the vaccine as the Delta variant has become dominant in the nation and is wreaking havoc. The surge in Delta variant is driven in many communities across the US, according to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In a country of our size, you can't be hanging around and having about 100,000 infections a day. You have got to get well below 10,000 before you start feeling comfortable, Mr. Fauci added. World Economic Forum reports that COVID-19 made the world with the increased violent incidences and fatalities since January 2020 to April 2021. You can see this hike in the violent incident. The study that the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you see the statistics, ages 18 to 24 got more affected, about 56.2%, and ages 25 to 49, about 48.9, and ages 50 to 64, about 39.1, and ages 55 plus, about 29.3. Average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders, what it was in 2019 over a period of 6 months, January to June, in 2019, 1.1%. Some more statistics confirming the same, that the younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders. Stress in America, a national mental health crisis. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. About 8 in 10, about 78% say pandemic is a significant source of experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. 60,000 US healthcare workers have contracted COVID-19, 300 have died. Of the health workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19, 50% showed signs of self-reported mental health among pregnant and new mothers. Before COVID-19 pandemic, depression was 15%. Now, during the pandemic, the depression rate increased to 40.7%, and the anxiety before the pandemic was 29%. Now it rose up to 72% during the pandemic. Living under stay-at-home orders, on school or work, and avoiding distractions. And 50% of all students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Nearly 82% of women surveyed said their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. Nearly 70% of women who have experienced these disruptions are concerned their career growth may be limited as a result. The World Bank, the global economic outlook during the COVID-19 pandemic, a changed world. The pandemic is expected to plunge most countries into recession, with per capita income contracting in the largest fraction of countries in 70. The COVID-19 crisis has worsened already fragile situations. The ILO is more aware. Mumbai mayor says, coming back to India, the third wave is already here. What to do? The city's mayor has said that the third wave of COVID-19 is already upon Mumbai. pointing to a sudden spike in cases. The third wave is not coming, it's here, said the Kishori Patnekar, adding that an announcement regarding the matter has already been made in Nagpur. Speaking of the coming festive season in Maharashtra, the mayor urged people to remain in their homes. Mandals have been asked to allow only 10 people and have them work in shifts. Breakthrough infections found in 25% coronavirus despite getting fully vaccinated. According to a recent study, has revealed through infections due to the Delta variant. The study, jointly conducted by the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, the maximum hospitals in Delhi NCR found that the vaccination breakthroughs were far more common the outbreak in Delhi than previously reported. All you need. Now that we have seen all the statistics across affected the physical health, fatalities increasing, but it's concerning statistics on the mental health of the people, especially younger generations, and which leading to the global peace. Concerning concerning statistics on the violent incidences increasing, it is affecting the global peace. So, how do we cope up with current COVID-19 pandemic? It is important to address the COVID pandemic, which is seeing another wave destroying many more lives. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says the pandemic fatigue setting in as a result of continuous leads to delusional arrogance, Tobhava Sankalpa. Continuous lockdown leads to delusional thoughts like, so what, if I die, it's okay. I can't live forever in this lockdown. Going out and then exposing oneself to and putting the risk on yourself and others with irresponsibility and insensitivity is the delusional arrogance. The global COVID virus pandemic has left the whole world desperately looking for answers. Life experience, even back in February 2020, is no longer recognizable. Drastic change is the order of the day, with the people to redefine their world with their society, faith, religion, and health. Blessed are those who have had the greatest fortune to be with the incarnation of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in their lives to carry them through this crisis. https://kailasa.org/. Now, sustainable developmental goals. Making peace with the nature is possible if we start now. Even amid pandemic, 2021 can go down as the year made peace with nature and set. For example, we can achieve the sustainable developmental goals, including ending poverty by 2030, if climate change and ecosystem collapse are under, and societies by valuing nature and putting its health at the heart of all our decisions. Organization on health and peace are interrelated. There cannot be health without peace, and there cannot be peace without health. If individuals and groups enjoy equitable access to health services, fulfilling their rights to physical and mental health, and health actors design neutral health interventions that promote trust and dialogue, and communities are empowered to cope with violent conflict. Then, health coverage is more universal. Grievances can be heard and addressed to generate trust around health emergency. Concerns affected communities are more likely to make meaningful contributions to peace and reconciliation. So, United States Institute of Peace. Amid COVID, we need enhanced international coordination to build peace. Tackling the pandemic and building resilience in fragile states requires concerted international action at local. This crisis will fuel new conflicts around the world while stemming prospects for resolve. Stronger health systems and universal health coverage must be a priority. Remarks to the General Assembly special session in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time since 1945, is confronted a social contract between people, governments, private sector, civil society, and more. Can tackle the roots of inequality with fair taxation on income and wealth, universal benefits, and opportunities for all. Contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism during this pandemic. Vedic tradition beautifully describes Sarvani bhutani atmani ivanu pushyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tadona vigakupshati. Individual goes Whenever an individual goes through a spiritual bliss, he manifests a bliss. He is more powerful, he moves the whole village, whole country. If he is powerful nations, he moves the whole world and manifests peace for them. Global peace is the byproduct of how to achieve the individual bliss by practicing completion. Now let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism how to achieve the individual peace which leads to the global peace.
Embodied in many bodies. Please understand, more deeper space you go inside you, more expanded you become, more one with everything, more oneness you experience. Unified field of consciousness. Various words are used. Some of them uses the word Atma, Brahman. Some of the Hindu traditions use the word Nirvana, Brahman, Nirvana, unified field of consciousness, whatever. But one thing I want to tell you, the deeper and deeper with you, different thoughts of you fights with you. Even you fight with you, the more superficial you go, the more deeper you start traveling. First, you get integrated. The you fighting with you stops. Then, the people around you get integrated. They fighting with you stops. Come with yourself, then completion with others, then comes completion with other things, not living beings, even with innate beings. The completion starts happening. Even with the nature, completion starts happening. The more deeper you travel, the more deeper you go, the more deeper you settle down, the more deeper you start living. Your cognition expands. More joy, more bliss, more knowledge, more enlightenment. Please understand. The more and more completion happens in you, you will see around you, feels complete with you. In the deepest corners of your being, deepermost layers of your being, deeper, you experience such awareness, such joy. Going into the deepermost corners of your being is a joy, it's a power. Everybody around you, everything around you listens to you. Power where the tendency flight is not there, because as long as you feel the other person is separate from you, when you get the power, it will always be used for exploiting. As the other person is separate from you, intelligence, time, talent, treasure. But when you feel the other person is your own, the power you have will not be exploiting, it will be enriching. I tell you, the death, I have enriched every human being more than what I received from anybody. I have given to every human being whom I met in my life more than what I received from them. My accounts is clear. I am ready. Come on, let's go. My accounts is clear. I don't have debt. No credit card money to be paid, loans to be paid, no debit card, no credit card. My accounts is clear. Understand, when you feel everyone is your extension, the power given to you, the power you gain, see, any living is power. Powerful way. Even in that, you will become powerful. So any lifestyle you choose, you will get power in that field. Whether it is exploiting, or enriching, murdering, or raping, or go on serving. Whatever lifestyle you choose, living, when you go into the deepermost core of your being and start listening, the first power will simply make you enrich everyone. The best power you can have through living is power of enriching. You will become powerful. I tell you, the power of exploiting conflicts naturally brings suffering and more completion in you and in others. This full month, seeing, we have officially presence in more than 50 countries. As devotees, group of devotees, we have presence in a month, impacting global peace. All Dahana Kriya means burning the patterns which separates us from others. burning the patterns which are constantly keeping us in a superficial level. All over the world, we will be doing Samskara Dahana Kriya, burning our, and we also have special 3 Nitya Dhyana Yoga program teaching people and facilitating Samskara Dahana Kriya. This month, 20th, 21st and 22nd, this whole month, all over the world, all our temples, ashrams, centers, yoga centers, schools, colleges, universities should do Samskara Dahana Kriya, should do bringing more and more peace inside us and outside us, spreading peace. This whole month, let's impact global. Let us really contribute to do it. Not just talking about it. Let's do it. In each area, each place where we have centers, ashrams, temples, two-way centers, yoga centers, even 50 people, each Tanidar teaches, enriches them with this science. The amount of suffering and negative waves, negative vibes reduction can contribute so much to the world. Please understand. One positive person can burn millions people negativity. Experientially, with evidence we proved, one positive person has already burnt at least 20 million people's negativity in last 10 years and brought peace. If you stand up as one positive being, one we can do so much to the world. It will be better place than the time we entered. It should be better place. So understand, inner peace, bring more and more completion into you, completion with others, and start Advaita. Today in the Inner Awakening session, it's all about completion with others. So last 6 days, literally, you worked so much, one by one by one by one by one, layer by layer by layer by layer. The completion with yourself. Now comes completion with others. Today we are starting the science of completion with others. It's one of the most powerful science. Does so much to human beings, not just healing their relationships, even inside their consciousness done. Advaita. Today the Inner Awakening sessions are all about completion with others. We have long session today working on completing with others. So with this, because today we have a long session. Actually, it is a good news. It's not a bad news because participants are so sincere. They are going through the whole process so intensely, sincerely. Because of that, we are little delayed. But today I'm going to catch up. Today I'm going to spend more time and catch up with them, with the syllabus. So,
secret to achieve global peace.
Work for revolution, you should work for all these, that things, you should vote only the party which says that it will stop the war and all these things. This is the social answer. If you want the honest, I tell you, simply transform yourself. You can't do anything. You are raising this question because you are not able to do. Am I right? So let us be very clear. Let us be honest. We are not able to do socially. That's the truth. That's the reason you are sitting here and raising the question. I tell you, understand few important things. There are a lot more while it is not according to the rules or how it is supposed to be. It was wonderful once upon a time. In ancient time, things were going properly. Everything was well and great. And I tell you, 10,000 years ago, they found some writings on stone about that stone writings. It says, oh, nowadays the society is great, things were as it should be, and it almost looks like a today real. 10,000 years ago, the same thing carved on a stone. Then understand, there was no such time as only good prevailed. It is just a fantasy. Hinduism, they call it Satya Yuga, the age of truth. There was only truth prevailed. And every religion, Christian, they say the Garden of Adam and Eve. There was a time everything was wonderful. The idea of golden past exists only in the past. The more you go back, again you say the past was great. And I tell you one thing, it is a wonderful way of postponing accepting the reality. Otherwise, I can be sure the world was as it is today. Whether it is 5,000 years ago or ago. Maybe one thing, there was no CNN, not reach you so quickly. That may be the only difference. But otherwise, I can be sure the good and the bad was equal. Good and the same amount of wars were there. All the other things were there. The Puranas, the mythological stories of India, you see enough of things, enough of dirty things. I think sometimes I find little more. And if you read completely the Purana, criminal activities or bad things or negative things, whatever you say, all this stuff, and never think only present day is corrupted or violent. All these things were there. Only one thing was not there, the CNN news or the internet. So the news will reach you. But if you awaken yourself, if you reach the enlightenment state, you can go beyond it. And I tell you, enlightenment is the only service you can do to the society. Just become enlightened so that you will reduce the negativity. Now, as of now, you are also the part of negative group. Naturally, we will be a negative group. As long as we are unenlightened, we will be the part of collective negative consciousness. So if you become enlightened, at least you will reduce your weight. That's the only thing we can do. That's the only way to help yourself and the society. Otherwise, all revolutions, you see, all revolution again end up as one more tradition. In last 2000 years, 3000 wars have happened in the humanity. In 2000 years, human beings have not done any. See, every country claims their army is a defensive army. Then who is offending? Tell me, if it says defensive army, then who? What to say? Games. The idea of peace is a pure game. on interreligious gathering. One guy is preaching, let all of you convert to my religion so that we will not have fight. He wants peace the way in which he wanted, not the way in which should survive, something like that. He has written some statement about the peace on the sword to spread the peace. So no revolution is not going, no revolution is going to help. Only individual evolution is going to help. So be very clear. Instead of working in the outer world, start working in the inner world. That will help you on way. Social answer means I'll tell, oh, you should have global peace. You should all work. Social answer means
Now let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hindus. Sri Kailas is all about peace-based powerfulness.
The space of Shanti, is where Kailasa grows. Listen carefully. It is in the deep powerfulness of peace, or peace-centered powerfulness is the ground, breeding ground for Paramashivatva to man. Please understand. Like how pure Shanti-based Shakti manifests in peace-based powerfulness. Please understand. Neither violence nor powerlessness. Powerlessness is weakness. Violence is abuse. Peace, all the Upanishads starts with peace, completes with peace. Shanti mantra starts with Shanti mantra, gets completed with Shanti mantra. A fundamental requirement Paramashivatva to manifest. That is why people who do not want peace in our campus, understand? But only eternal peace. So, remember this very clearly. Alters Anu Mahat structure. Understand? Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The consciousness in you is atom inside the atom, Mahat more than Mahat. That Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That consciousness starts growing in you with more and more peace-based powerfulness developing in you. Nothing can be compared to unclutching. Spend